Hey everyone! Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of City Thots. Today I am Sean. I am Sean every
Today
day,
he
but
is
today
Sean.
I'm going to be your host, and to my left I have Ivan. And I have Sam over here, Sam City. Today I will be hosting, and we're going to be talking about the bees. We're going to be talking about, different mental states and different ways of thinking. I think in our conversations now, I have my friends and we're growing up a little bit more. So we're talking about how we function throughout our work lives and our daily lives. And it just kind of created a divide of like the people who overthink and then the people who are just going through life. They're just reacting to things.
Thoughts.
There's no
thoughts.
They're quiet. They go to sleep early. They don't have any problem sleeping. There's nothing going on there. Yeah. Whereas like on the other side of the spectrum, there's the overthinkers.
Yeah.
And there's the people who we have now coined the way of thinking and overthinking as the bees.
It's just a constant buzzing.
And there's so many forms of bees.
Yeah. There's so many forms of bees.
So many.
The bees, the way I kind of describe it, and I feel like I have a pretty severe case of the bees, is that,
saturated with
He's
bees.
the hive.
Yeah,
the hive.
The
Beyonce
beekeeper.
I'm the queen bee.
The queen
But,
bee.
in my head, if I have all these different thoughts and ideas buzzing around, each one of them is like this other bee, and they're all just like fighting each other for attention, and I only have so much bandwidth to actually execute on these ideas. So all these bees are fighting each other to just be like what I'm actually thinking of and how I actually can perform in my life.
Are the bees like primarily negative or positive or neutral?
The bees can go anyway, but like the bees are usually just any thought. It could be like, hey, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I have this dinner date later, what am I gonna wear? And it could also be like, I'm hungry, I like sandwiches.
Okay.
So the constant like flow of thought.
Yes.
Never like a mute.
You're just like aware of your consciousness.
Everything.
Yeah.
Actually, the first part that you were saying, the like I need to do all those things, those are my morning bees. And I mean that my morning bees are anxiety. And actually, they're all day, but mostly in the morning. I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but like my anxiety is the worst in the morning because the moment my eyes open, I can like physically feel all of my thoughts re-enter my brain. Like I can feel it go from nothing to like
Just, like,
swarm.
Everything around you.
And it's usually always like, today I have to get this done. And then that's what gives me anxiety because I'm like, holy shit, I have so much that I need to get done, but I just opened my eyes.
There's so many bees in there.
So
They're just
many
forcing your eyes out of your
Yes,
head.
exactly. So I don't have a problem waking up in the morning. I have a problem going back to sleep after I've allowed the bees to come back in.
Oh, I'm like I wake up, I realize I got some bees to take care of. I'm like, I don't want to. I want to close my eyes and ignore the bees. I want to hide
Okay,
from
so
the
you
buzzing.
identify as also someone with bees.
I got like, I feel like if based off hearing this, if we're ranking bees, you got major bees.
Yeah, I'm going Mike too.
Medium bees.
Yeah.
I got like lesser bees. I got a couple honey bees. They're like there's no stingers. We just gotta collect some pollen. That's what we gotta do. And I wake up. I'm like, oh, I got things to do. And part of me's like, oh man, I really don't want to do this. But I do it, and I kind of start liking it. I'm like, oh, like I gotta tap. Like it's like playing a game. You do this, but it's never like, oh my god, I gotta go to the grocery store.
Yeah, no, it's not like debilitating. Like I will do it all, but I'm always thinking about what I need to be doing.
Okay, so your bees are more like a little bit more structured. They're letting you like build things.
Yeah.
They're letting you like go out, have a list and accomplish it.
It depends. Those are primarily my bees. I think those are my first bees that like are buzzing the loudest. But then I also have the bees of just like going down a spiral of a topic and like thinking about something super in depth to the point where I've like thought of everything that could have been thought about this one thing. And sometimes it could be a good thing because I feel like I'm prepared for anything that could happen within a certain situation. But as you can probably imagine, it also means that I'm like preparing for things that will probably never happen and like stressing myself out about certain things. For example, this often happens when I feel like I have to have a conversation with someone and I'm going through all the possible things that this person could say back to me or how they could react or like what could come out of it and whatever. And so I'm stressing myself out being like, oh my God, what if they hate me? What if they say this? What if they do that? And it's almost like there's only one option that it could be. And usually it's not one of those like 50 terrible options, but I've thought about it.
That it could be.
It could be. It could be though.
Interesting.
And so it's like, would you rather not think about all those scenarios and be unprepared if a bad thing comes, or not stress yourself out like twice? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I feel you. It's you're kind of like thinking about all the scenarios. It sounds more negative scenarios that you want to avoid per se, or is it like, are they ever like just like overall it's just
I would say everything. I'm a pretty neutral beer.
I'm a neutral being.
I'm a lowercase b.
But not neutral in the sense that my thoughts are neutral, but I have just as many negative as I do positive thoughts.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I will also think of all the potential good outcomes.
Okay. So it's like a mix. Like the bees are a diverse range.
For sure. We don't discriminate in my head.
Okay.
For your imaginary bees. I feel like my bees are kind of made up on like this weird spectrum of like my kind of like ADHD, need dopamine fast, like need to accomplish things to like give myself a little burst to get me through the day. And then there's like my OCD bees, which are like so loud that I'll like fixate on things and go throughout the day, and they like control so much of my day because they're so loud and I can't ignore them. Like I need to like do these things to shut them up so that the other bees can just be like, oh, bzz, I'm hungry.
I have that too.
Damn, our bees
I have like a tangible bee and like a invisible bee. Like I will have bees from things I'm looking at. Like I will just get like really like, oh shit, like there's a fingerprint over there, like I need to go get that, or like so yeah. Okay, also at the Halloween party that we had, I took off all. So another thing that seems to happen a lot in our friend group is we like to almost set our houses on fire by accidentally turning on the stove.
You started that.
Okay, to be fair, who was allowing me to carry that heavy ass thing? Like of all the people in our friend group, majority male, I'm carrying this giant like crock pot air fryer box as a housewarming present, and I'm like struggling. And so when I finally get into the house, I like plop it onto the only clear surface, which happens to be a stovetop. But I'm like, it's whatever. It's not going to be on. Like, who doesn't put things on their stovetop? You shouldn't do that. Anyway. And then I'm going to assume the responsibility that I also hit the stove to turn it on while doing that. It could have been anyone. Because people were like leaning on that shit. Like, yeah, it could have been anyone.
How, like it's just like you like boom,
no, but then
elbow to high.
So then it happened at one of my. Was it also Halloween last year?
It was
another hope.
Whenever you moved in, whenever that was, because it was a housewarming gift again, and then it was.
No, it wasn't. It was a thing of alcohol, which is way worse.
Yeah,
oh yes, you're right. It was
a box.
But it was funny because it was the other person who owns the other house that did it to you.
Yes, it was payback.
Does anyone else find it mildly ironic that it's always during the housewarmings that we're lighting each other's places on fire?
It is. It's hilarious. Anyways, so this most recent party, someone also accidentally turned on my stove.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
but there was nothing on top, but it started to smell like burning, and people were like, oh, this is on, and there was like heat coming off of it. Anyways, I took off all the knobs because I was like, okay, no one's going to be able to turn it on. Great idea from somebody else. And then noticed that it was dirty behind the knobs. Oh, yes. And I was like, oh no. Like I looked at it and I was like, there's just no way I can continue. And there's like a full blown party happening around me. And I'm like, I must take out my spray bottle and like my stainless steel cleaner and like start cleaning all of these behind the knobs. And I remember someone standing next to me, watching me look at what was there, and like the bees started being like, oh, I can't let that, I can't not address that right now. And he was like, please don't. He was like, please don't do that right now. And I was like, I have to. And before I even finished that sentence, I already had the spray bottle in my hand, and I was like, but that's like a very like physical bee to me. Like as soon as I see something, I have to like pick it up immediately, or if like there's like a speck on the floor, I have to get that. But I think that's my OCD bees.
Yeah,
also.
Yeah. I know there's this one scene from Malcolm in the Middle where it's Hal. He's like the dad in the show, and he's like trying to fix something. So I think it's like first he's trying to repair like this squeaky drawer. So he has to. He's like opening it. He's like, okay, I'll need my tools. So then he like goes into like the garage, and like the light bulb like isn't working for some reason, and then he has to go and like find a replacement light bulb, but then there's no light bulb, so he ends up like trying to start his car, and then the car's not working. So then his wife comes home. He's like under the car repairing it, and she's like, hey, did you fix the drawer? And he's like, what do you think I'm doing? Because he's just so sidetracked. I find myself in that cycle so many times.
Do you forget like the initial chore?
I never forget. Okay, so
that's me too. Because I'm like,
it keeps getting noisier and noisier, and then the amount of mental like static keeps getting louder and louder, and then I get more like frustrated and antsy because now the mental stack is like built up. Like the task list is so long, the bees are so loud, and I'm like, I need to knock off these before they get overwhelming.
Right.
Damn. Okay, I thought I had some bees. I got flies. I got like fruit flies at best. At best, it's like I relate in some ways where it's like, yeah, like I like cleaning. OCD, I'll clean, but I'm very okay with like I'll remember I have to do that. I'll do it
later.
And like if in the meantime it makes sense to do it, I'll do it. But if it's something where it's like, okay, this is a task where I could do it now, but I could do it later because I believe that. Whatever reason that area would be also extra messy, it's just better to optimally clean it all in one go. I'll just do it in one go. But I'm never like, if I don't clean this little knob right now, there's gonna be a fire in the house.
Yep.
Yeah. And my bees aren't that far. And like Malcolm in the Middle explanation, I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, I guess I handle my bees is I'll have that initial feeling of like, oh, okay, hey, like this is a lot. But I remind myself like one task at a time. Just one task. So
I would benefit from that mindset for sure.
I just go like, oh, fix that thing first, and I'll go fix the light bulb.
No, my head is just like, I'm just freaking out. I'm just like, oh no.
Well, my fear is if I don't do it right now, I won't remember to do it. Like, do you think you have a good memory?
I have a great memory. I think I've got through life by memory. Like my whole thing where like school and everything, I might not understand it. I'll just memorize it to the T, and that's how I got through everything. Just memorize.
Yeah, I could take a page out of the like I can do it later, because I think that's the other thing, going back to my anxiety that I've unpacked with my therapist, is I get anxious because I feel the need to do everything right away. And then that shows up in like places like work when someone's like, hey, can you do this for me? And they probably don't need it for like X amount of time. But then I've suddenly put the importance of me needing to do that for them right now, even though I have a laundry list of other things that probably take importance and priority over it, but I can't cue it the way it's supposed to be cued, because I'm like, oh, you just told me to do it. I need to do it right now. Yeah. And then that shows up again in my like personal life too, where I'm like, oh, that thing's dirty. I got to clean that right now instead of making a meal. You know, like it's just like prioritizing.
There's like little things like that though, where it's like I could get cleaning and like then go eat, then making a meal, because then like I like to clean. It's like nuances, like clean and then go and clean and then go. It's just different things. Like I don't know, maybe my bees are selective. They're a little picky. They're not as rambly, because certain things like I'll have to do right away, and I relate to where it's like someone asks me something. And it's like, I'll add it to the mental cue of like, okay, like, do they need this now or later? But it also is like, how fast can I get this thing done where I don't even have to cue it up? Because if it's something where I'm like, oh, like, he's like, can you pass me a fork? I'm not gonna be like, well, let me cook my steak real quick. I'm just like, oh yeah, like here, sauce you a fork, and then go. So it comes in waves. Are your bees vocal? Like, do you? Because I guess where I'm getting at is like, you know how there's some people who don't have an internal monologue? Like they just see color, like...
No, my bees are not necessarily vocal. They're not like saying, oh, you have to do certain things. It's just clutter, static, and like... I wouldn't call it anxiety. but also I think it might
is.
be.
Personally,
I
think it is.
Describe it as anxiety, but it's just something that gets so loud. Like even
it's anxious behavior though.
Yeah,
it is.
It's like anxious, chaotic. Like even today, like I was going through. I had my weekend, right? I'm like, okay, today is my Saturday. I'm gonna get a bunch of things done. So the things that I woke up on my task list were like, okay, do my laundry. I had to fix one sink because it's starting to leak. I've fixed another sink because it's blocked. I had to like go work out. I had to like go get ready for today. I have to like buy gifts for someone's wedding. So everything today is just like going, and I like went through like most of the day. I'm like under the sinks with like my pipe wrench, just like just taking off U pipes and stuff like that. And I got to like 4:00. I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten today. And that's where it'll take me. That's where it'll take me.
I get that.
So when you have a bunch of tasks, how do you choose what to do first?
I am bad at knocking off a single task individually. I have to kind of do
you start all of them?
A lot of them.
No, that's crazy.
Do you do like a little bit of this and you go like run over there and like
so it's kind of like in my mind, like it's like how I see it as efficient. It's kind of like a diner dash method. So wake up, put the laundry in. Okay, that's going. I have this amount of time. Go to the first sink, open that up, see what's happening, figure out what new piece I need. I'm on Amazon trying to find it, watch a couple of YouTube videos. Okay, first load of laundry, done. Flip it, put the next load of laundry in, and then afterward go to the second sink, get the plunger out, see what's wrong there, like figure out all these things. So it kind of has a flow.
Mm-hmm.
I could use like a second person, but it's like, okay, I understand how long each thing is going to take.
Yeah,
and then,
you're just multitasking.
You're multitasking.
Yeah, multitasking.
And I would fall into that. I get that. Because like, there's no way you're doing the laundry and you're like,
I'm just
wait
gonna
an hour.
sit here. Yeah.
Right? Like that doesn't make sense. That's just
That's true.
That's not even to be. That's just being
But
bad.
most of the tasks like finish around the same time based on like time length because I like just like starting what I can. I don't like waiting around because the bees get too crazy and then I have to...
Then I feel like I can't relax knowing there's
no
things. There's no
relaxing. You got to do everything and then you're like, okay, I can chill out.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's say there's 2 sinks, right? Let's say you're 2 sinks. You didn't have to do laundry, but there's 2 sinks. Do you finish sink 1 before sink 2? Or is it like you work on sink 1, something weird comes up, and then you start doing sink 2? Like, or do you just, something weird comes up, tackle it, do sink,
I'll complete whatever I can as early on as possible.
Okay.
Because then I can allow myself to put another task on the list. If I can knock them off earlier, that's better. But if I have to do them all at the same time because that makes sense, then I'll do that. And I'll just kind of work in like a manic way until eventually all of them are finishing up.
Manic
keyword.
Yeah.
When you choose, the reason I ask is I have like a answer for this. Do you choose like I'm gonna do the simpler tasks first, or like is there like a sequence that you go by, or just like how whatever you're feeling you want to tackle first?
I have to do, and this also sounds crazy, but I have to do the loudest task first.
The loudest?
Whoa!
No, not in terms of like, oh, this is gonna make a lot of noise.
I got a hammer, so I gotta do that first.
No.
Huh?
No,
I
have
that's
to do
you.
the task that's loudest first.
The loudest bee wins.
So in my relationship, I have bees. My partner has no bees.
No bees!
There's no bees.
Open air.
No bees. I always
crazy.
tell her, I'm like,
Yeah.
your biggest strength in your life actually is the lack of memory. Because I don't think she remembers like bad things that have happened. Like she just forgets.
She
Like
got
I was
the
like,
goldfish mentality.
every
She got
time-
goldfish is not bees.
I'm always like, oh, I can remember so vividly like certain scenarios that have happened in my life that I'm just like, oh man, like that really was just like not chill, man. Like that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I don't think she has any of those in her head.
No.
None of them.
One
She
of
holds
the
grudges,
biggest-
but she doesn't. She doesn't have any like.
She's like, I feel negative about this person, but I don't know why.
Yeah, she doesn't. She's not like thinking about things that have happened.
No, I can't.
One of the biggest differentiators is when we come back from vacation. So when I come from vacation, I get into my place, I take my shoes off, and I unpack my suitcase. I put everything in the laundry. I put everything exactly back to where it was, and then maybe then I can like start to relax and unwind. She back there, horizontal.
I can't do that. No, because you're gonna have to do it later.
Yes.
And it just feels worse to do it later than right then.
So that is like a loud task. That is like something that's like outstanding, where it's like this cannot wait, and this will take up my entire mental state until I accomplish it. So that's like a loud task.
Okay. I respect that. That's valid. That makes sense. It's like something that needs to be done promptly to you is like priority. Yeah.
So I go based off of energy level. Like
okay.
I know for a fact that I will lose energy as time goes on, and so I will do the task that requires the most energy first.
That makes sense.
It does, but then it also doesn't because, for example, I get back from Italy and New York, 2 back-to-back trips. Everything in my house needs to be done. Like, and it was also coming back like after a season had ended. So I was like, I need to bring in my patio furniture, clean everything, do laundry, grocery shop. Not a single ounce of food. You'd think
not a morsel.
Nothing. Not a cracker was in this apartment. My plants are dying. I can't even nibble on the leaves. Okay? So you would think based off of that, priority should be get some food in your house. But I'm like, no, that's not going to take the most energy. The most energy is going to be cleaning my patio furniture.
Yeah.
So I do that first. I'm out here like scrubbing my patio furniture at like 9 a.m., like taking off all the cushions and like doing my laundry and shit. Haven't eaten a single thing. Like nothing is inside of me, but I'm like, I won't have the energy to do this any later than right now. Cause I'm a morning person also. Like I have the most energy in the morning. Anyway. And then after that, I'm like, okay, now I need to change all my bedding because that's going to take a lot out of me. And I know I'm not doing that after I come back from grocery shopping. But yeah, rationally, like that's not how I should be prioritizing based off of just like staying alive.
I kind of like it.
I need to ask, okay,
let's
go with that, like that same example, right? Like, does your mind ever go where you're like, okay, I have no food and like, so I'm going to have to eat eventually, but I have this big task. But does your mind ever go to the point where like I could just Uber Eats real quick? Where it's like sure you're not grocery shopping right now, but if the object is like I gotta eat, so I can eat and then maybe grocery later.
It seems like a cop out, and then I know more bees will occur later because I've put this task aside instead of dealt with it. It's like can't trick the bees, man.
Well, for me, it's not even that. It's that unless I'm starving right now, I won't think of a solution for my lack of food. So I'll wake up and be like, I'm not starving, so why do I need to go grocery shopping when I could use all my energy to clean my patio furniture? And then by the time I'm starving, it's over. Like, I'm like, oh, well, I won't have like the forethought of like, I know I should probably actually, I will have that thought, but it won't be loud enough to change anything.
That's crazy.
Me completing tasks as well will propel me through the day more than actual nourishment to my body.
Yes, agree.
If I am accomplishing the little things, then
I could make it all the way to dinner. Yeah, I can make it all the way.
Yeah. There's nothing getting in the way. I'm just like, I will do all these things today.
For sure.
Because I get that. Like, same thing. Like, if I have a lot, it'll get me through the day. But at the same time, I know to eat, so I just order food, and I'll let it sit there. But I'll do all my tasks, then I eat. But because I'm not hungry because I'm doing tasks. But then at the same time, I don't run into that, I'm not going to eat because I have to get groceries. I was like, I just Uber Eats it in, and then I can, like, grocery shop after.
Yeah, that's good fourth. I don't have that.
Wow. Okay, wait here. Let me ask you this. Let's say you had one considered big task, but 4 little tasks that if you were to tally them equaled 1 medium task. Do you do the big task first? Or the 4 little ones that could equal a medium when you tally them together?
Why am I tallying them together?
Are they relating to the same thing?
I guess the bees don't consolidate.
Like unless it's like, oh, these are all like cleaning tasks, then I could be like, okay, that's all one task. Yeah. Like I need to dust, sweep, mop, vacuum, like do all those things. Then maybe I could put it in one, and then maybe that task might go up because now it's amassed to like a greater task.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. I see that.
Else.
Yeah. Versus like going to hand wash my car.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah.
So you do the little ones first over the big tasks then, or would you still do the wash?
Yeah. Whatever. First? I would categorize them based off of how I would accomplish them, like in a row, because I would do all of those things together. I wouldn't like dust and then go grocery shop and then come back and like clean my bathrooms. Like all the cleaning has to go at the same time. Yes.
So there's
if that is a bigger task than the next, then yes, I will group them together.
Do you view each indoor task as a task, or do you view it as just cleaning?
I think it fits under the header of like cleaning, depending on if there's like repair maintenance versus just like cleanliness, sanitization.
Interesting. Okay.
You know?
But there is a difference between maintaining cleaning and deep cleaning.
Yeah, deep cleaning.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because that's the other thing. I came home from those trips and I was like, you know what I'm going to do before grocery shopping? I'm going to clean my washing machine. I was in there cleaning like the dumbest things that just like, again, not priority, but I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah, that's a loud task for me. I have like a front loading washing machine, and
Same.
I've been researching like how to take like the faceplate off and how to like take the drum out to like clean inside. And it's because you can take out the whole drum that spins.
I didn't know that.
So
Wow.
it's been like this kind of like little eerie bzz in the back of my head for a while. So I've been like trying to figure out how to actually accomplish that. And it doesn't leave.
Damn.
It's just there.
Okay.
But it is possible.
It is possible, yeah. I've been looking up because I want to... You can obviously like clean it with like vinegar solutions and different other solutions, but I want to take the whole thing out because I feel like that would be really nice.
Dude, yeah, something is like gross in there.
Yeah.
Every time I
exactly.
clean it, I'm like, all right, I do a load. I'm like, this is not clean.
Yeah, part of me doesn't want to know that technique because then that's just another thing like that will haunt me.
Mm.
It's like something where if I didn't know what happens, like it's not on my list because it's not
Yeah,
doable.
yeah.
Like,
but when you discover it, it's over. Like I
It's-
discovered my fucking dishwasher filter, and I was like, oh no,
oh,
that's
yes,
just
yes.
nasty.
That's why I don't use
Yeah.
the dishwasher.
Oh, I cleaned my...
Well, now I
I
just
deep
rinse
cleaned
it.
my dishwasher. I deep clean like the fans above my stove. Because
Oh.
like the grease starts to
I'm a big
evaporate.
vacuumer of the
The
vents.
dust collector
yeah,
thing?
yeah, that brings me so much
Because
joy. I'm like, whoa.
if you can coexist with the bees, right? So the
For sure.
bees aren't just like turmoil and something you have to shut up. Like once you like satisfy a bee, they give you a little bit of honey.
do.
There's like the
You're like, good job.
you know, and then you're just like, oh, I need that again. So it's like how do I get these bees going and then make them quiet and then like get that little reward.
I wonder what like the long-term effects of living like
anxiety.
this.
of crippling anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Loss of hair,
Just like burning
wrinkling
out.
of skin,
Yeah.
burrowed eyes.
It's either you conquer and befriend your bees and become like the beehive master, or you're just there like in a ball, just tweaking out.
So I feel like my bees are kind of like a amalgamation of like my kind of different like OCD, ADHD kind of like tendencies.
Yeah.
But I feel like my OCD tendencies really come out, and this is like another thing that I've kind of named over the years. I have what I call my mind goblins, and the mind goblins are like
No one else claims the mind goblins.
no one else.
It's a
claims
Sean
them.
specific
That's like
thing.
a very very specific one. So the mind goblins are sort of like a OCD amalgamation, like personification, and these goblins like imagine making up rules for yourself through your life, and then for the rest of your life you can't break these rules or else the goblins will eat your brain. That is the way I describe them.
Please
Those
give
are,
an
like,
example.
my mind goblins.
Yeah, give me some, because I kind of understand that. It's like, it's not like code of conducts, but it is, where it's like you just have to do certain things in certain orders or a certain way, because
Or else it's not right.
Yeah, or else it's not right. It's just how you live.
Okay.
It's like you floss first before you brush your teeth or something like that. It's or like cereal before milk. Like, something where it's like it's just, but like to a degree where it could be like something to do with like cleanliness or your little habits. I understand that. Like
Yeah.
like you just got to do it, or else it gives you like a weird itch. Like, or like, have you ever had a moment where it's one of those things you did it the opposite way, so you reset it to do it the right way?
Yes.
Wait, I need an example.
I'm trying to think. There's so many ways where I realize, like, I'm trying to think. There's ways where it's just something where like I did it in the wrong order, so I put it in the wrong, like reverse and do it and do it the right way. Because if I don't, I have this like itch in the back of my mind. It's like a tingle, and then once I do it the right way, it feels good. It feels like my world was reset to the right direction.
I feel like one of the more common kind of like mind goblins, I feel like a lot of people can like resonate with this, like notifications or on your phone or on anything.
Gotta clear them.
You have to clear them.
I don't understand people who can't like just have hundreds.
Yeah.
Like
I see 1,000 email notifications.
Yo, my coworkers are crazy.
I'm like, how do you not look and just delete? They're like, oh, I checked my email. I was like, and then what? They're like, nothing. I'll leave it.
I would rather turn off the icon badges because you can do that too. Than allow the number to just stare at me. There's no way.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
So that's one I feel like a lot of people feel, and that's like one that people are like. You can tell who has no B's.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Give me your phone.
Outlook has like 1,000.
Yeah.
If it's a 4-digit number above the icon on your phone, you have no B's. You are living in bliss.
0.
Yes.
Like going with that, like part of my morning routine is I'll wake up, turn off my alarm, and then clear all my notifications.
Yeah.
That's something I have to do. Like before doing it, I'll wake up, look at my phone, check my email, check everything, and just clear it.
Same.
And just so everything's blank, so I know I'm like, oh, that's like a task done. It's like one thing.
But I didn't have to get up.
Yep.
So do you feel that you answer people right away when they message you?
I would like to say I do, but I don't know if I would rather clear the notification and not respond than have it be there.
Yeah.
If I can be perfectly honest, I would rather like open it. And usually I'm like schedule send on email, fantastic. Learned about that. I was like, oh man, now people won't know I'm up at 5 a.m. doing work stuff.
Yeah.
So like I would rather deal with it right away, but sometimes I don't. I would rather get the notification gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like habitually, I'll see it, and part of my brain's like, clear it. And then if like you caught me at a time where I'm just chilling and doing nothing, I'll reply. But if I'm like talking to someone in the middle of something, I'll tell myself, oh, you cleared it, but you'll get back to it. And then sometimes I get lost in sauce and I'll forget. But yeah, so like it's just 50-50, you know? Like for my friends out there, if I don't reply, it's because I cleared a notification and I forgot. It's not like I hate you. It's just it's like I'll get to it.
See, I have to answer as soon as I see it.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, and that goes back to what I said about like I need to do things immediately, or else I'll forget. And then the only way I stop myself from doing that when I'm like hanging out with people is I just don't look. Yeah, like I'll just not look, and then I won't feel that obligation. But if I see it, I'm like, oh shit, I have to answer them. I feel like this like responsibility that they're just waiting for me to answer when they're not. They're absolutely not.
No one ever is.
No,
Actually, no one
ever is.
Unless it's work related, no one is.
But I'm like, I need to respond right now.
I hear the buzz. I have to look. It's one of my things where I just have to know, because part of my brain is like, what if it's like Sean's messaging me like my leg got cut off. You can come right now.
Yeah,
but it could be just like Facebook says Happy Halloween. Like
you have 5 friends with mutual friends.
I'm like, oh yeah. So that's why I always have to look, because I'm afraid like, what if?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's my big thing. I'm just trying to like really think about like the order thing, because that's bothering me, because I know I have it, but it's so like ingrained. Like, what do you have? Like your sequence, like things you have to do in order. Like,
oh yeah, and like my
obviously
my routines. It's funny because like it's actually not funny at all. It's entirely
it's highly
detrimental. So I was trying out this. It was like this 30-day kind of like set program in order to break your routines to reduce anxiety, and that was kind of like combating some of like the goblins, because a lot of the goblins say you do things this way, no other way, you have to do this thing, why aren't you doing this thing, don't do this thing, and then they'll eat my brain. So this whole routine breaking like program was doing small things that are outside your routines that you do. So for example, like going home a different way, or like getting ready in like a different way, like doing things out of order to try to like get yourself more used to it.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the worst, like I think I got through like maybe 20 days, and by that point I felt like I was like actually going crazy, because I'd wake up and I'd be like I feel like I had a tick. I was just like, I need to do it. I need to do it.
Like,
yeah. Like it was just not. And like even like the small things that have like become like goblins in my mind. Like it feels like I've just manifested them into such a bigger thing. Like the comfort level like of my socks. For example, like my girlfriend will probably say that like if I am uncomfortable in any sort of way, I just become silent. Because
That's actually
I can't
true
focus on anything else. So if my sock band is too loose and it's like going down my leg, or you know, like I got my sock wet, God forbid I would commit war crimes. But like it's so many like small like comfort things. Like if I knew like if I went out and didn't shower in the morning, or like I didn't shave properly, like I wouldn't be able to function in my normal day. One of the biggest things for me is if I notice my fingernails are too long.
That's me and my toenails, man.
I hate my
toenails. So like, oh no.
Put them down, Sean. Put them down.
I am no longer hosting this episode.
And that's it.
But yeah, no, like for me, like one of the rules that I made up in my head, because I used to work in a Domino's, right? So I was making pizza. So anytime where I'd get any bits of food underneath my nails that are now currently too long. I would like freak out. So my nails, my rule to myself is like, okay, if there's any white showing on your nail past the bed, like you can't function.
That's me. I cut all the white off, and everyone I've been with are like, you're nuts. That's so unhealthy. I'm like, no, clean cut, no white.
No white. Like,
and like that part of your nail, like people are like, doesn't it hurt? No feeling there.
That's like me and my toes. I'm like, I don't want no white on my toes.
Yeah.
On my fingers, I can do that now.
I mean, no whites nowhere. Like sometimes my pinky toe, I'm like, there's like this much nail. Like, that's good.
Like it's
that's
gotta
it.
go.
Gotta go. And I'm good. That means I gotta cut my toenail less at this point. Yeah.
So it's like all those weird rules, and then I feel like there's like the bees, there's the goblins, and then there's also like the Sean-isms that I've kind of like found over the years. So like I'll like heavily fixate on, it's usually like a phrase or something.
The ticks.
It's almost like something that like
it's Tourette's, bro.
Like if I say it feels like I'm like itching the back of my neck, so it's good. So like I'll have like weird things that I'll just say the entire night, and then like 2 weeks later I will never say it again, but for the one night I have to keep saying like a certain catchphrase or something, and it gets so out of control that like people are clearly
we hate it.
I'm telling you guys now, I grew up with this guy. Like I've gone through so many different phases where it's like he had this thing where he kept saying, instead of Bumblebee, be Bumble, and he'd go be Bumble, be Buzz, and like like Shazam. But the worst was, you guys remember like the damn Daniel trend?
Oh my god,
this guy could not stop saying damn Daniel.
Yep.
And there's this one, it was historic. We're at the club with like everyone, and his girlfriend's like, have you seen Sean? I'm like, oh no, I haven't. And in the back, running across from one side of the club to the other, you heard, damn, Daniel. And I was like, oh, I think we found him. And the whole night, and I think your tics get worse when you're intoxicated.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
It's just, you don't stop using words, you just say your phrase.
Yeah.
That's true. He's not saying anything else but the
Except
phrase.
the phrase.
Yes.
Except the phrase.
And loud.
Really loud.
And very loud. And they like won't last more than like usually like 3-4 days, but it's like a new one that cycles, but there always has to be like something. Like I remember going out, I was on vacation, right? And then we were in our vacation to Italy, and you know, one of our friends was commenting on the vacation. They're like, oh, like what were like the Sean things that he was saying throughout the thing, and it was just a bunch of absolute nonsense.
Liver cake.
Like I remember going on we went to Toronto not that long ago, and then the thing was just like the noise or like the sound music of like Spider-Man 2, like when he puts on the black suit. So it was like da na 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 na.
It's actually wild too, because we've been so plagued by it that we can all, like, as soon as you describe one, we know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's that one.
It's just that one.
Great.
But sometimes they hit. Like
they're so funny.
Sometimes like
so funny.
I hate it, but like, the moment was so good. It would just be like, something happens, let's say our friend like falls over and be like, na 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 na. I'm like, oh, that was kind of good. That was a good sound effect.
I can't relate. I don't think I have any that I'm like, that was a good one.
That's it's some boy.
Do you
humor.
think of
it's
them?
Some boy goblins.
Yeah. Do you think of them prior to going out? You just there.
It's something that my mind attaches to, and for some reason like fixates on the entire night. And like there will be some times where we know we're going out and then something is like funny and they're like, don't show Sean. Because he's gonna say this all night.
The wolf thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we can't talk about that again. But like, dang, that was.
Yeah.
So there's like the bees, the goblins, and the isms. Like my mind is working full force always. It's just so cluttered.
That's true.
There.
Actually, at Halloween, also had like a BB gun as part of his costume. And when he got here, he was like, oh my gosh, this looks so realistic. It's so heavy. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And the first thing he said was, I can't let Sean get this.
No. Because you already know.
You already know Sean's going to be
had them. He was like,
yes. Yes.
Like, take the gun away from him.
Please.
Take something away from him.
A couple of times through the night, I managed to like, you know, pretend like I was reaching for something and then grab the BB gun and then someone across the room, they're like, no, absolutely not.
Wait, I actually remember one so vividly now was when we were playing like MJ or something and you took like the stick. Yes, the stick.
And
you kept whacking the table with it. You wouldn't stop, and Catherine kept ripping it out of your hand.
I don't even remember this one.
It was like a stick to keep it like
straighten things
up.
Yes,
slapping things,
yeah.
and
we're
like,
I was
stop.
like, yo,
Oh my god! And the funniest thing is your reaction is all the same when you have this weird attachment to the object. Is you get so offended when we take it from you.
He's like,
and we're like, Sean,
I need that, and then he'll just spend his whole life getting it back.
Yeah.
Like, it's his life's mission.
You can see like him scheming in his head. He'd be like, it's cool.
Same thing with Liver King. Liver King.
Explain Liver King.
Okay, so we have a night out in Italy, and we had like these little hangover pills that had like a little liver picture on it, right? Because it's like supposed to be.
It was like a glossy, glowing picture of a liver.
Of a liver, because it's supposed to like support liver health and whatever, and that's why it's good for taking when drinking, and we're obviously drinking. So, did you cut it out? Like, how did it become a little sticker?
I thought it would be so funny because I'm like, already we're like coming back from the club. I'm just like, oh, this is a really nice picture of a liver. I'm going to keep this for later. Because for some reason, I knew there was something there. You know, when you look at something, you're like, oh, there's content here. You know?
No, nobody else does that.
I attached to it, and I was like, this is going to be useful in some way later. So I like cut it out, and I put it in my pocket.
He cut it out. Think about that. Think about what kind of thought process, what kind of goblins have to be in your head to be like,
oh,
that's a nice liver. Like starts cutting it. Like that's crazy.
Like a nice pate.
So we get back from wherever we were, and we're all like sitting around the kitchen table. You know, we're all drunk, whatever. And Sean fucking sticks it to his forehead and crowns himself the Liver King. And he's like going around being like, I am the Liver King, I am the Liver King. So annoying.
I had people like, they started like bowing, and I was like,
there was like,
hail the Liver King.
You had two drunk idiots.
Yes, it was not people. It was his friends.
it was enough. I got support.
Anyways, and then there's two girls being like, this is the dumbest thing we've ever seen. And so we made it our life's mission to try and hide the liver from him.
To dethrone the Liver King.
And the best part is no one is ever as intoxicated as Sean. So it's actually really easy to do whatever you want to manipulate the situation.
Candy from a baby, yes.
Yes. So what? We like blow it off your head or something. It falls on the floor and I cover it with my foot.
Wait, that's how you got it off?
And then imagine Sean, this is like relating to how he gets so offended. He's literally sitting there like, where is it?
It's like he lost his child. He's like,
no, he's literally like, where's the liver? Where's the liver? He's standing up. He's standing up upright, like, and you know when Sean gets really like erect,
like
erect.
He's like,
that's when he's stressed out.
I don't think I've ever noticed that about myself.
No, which we can talk about with the heights thing.
You go like wide-eyed, and you're like this, like.
No, yes.
What's you?
We have to talk about atmosphere after.
Oh my god.
Like rigid.
Rigid.
Yes, rigid. Anyway. He's walking around the kitchen table. Me and my other friend are just passing it under our feet and like sliding around, getting away from him. And he's just like we'll start talking about other things, and I'll look over and notice that Sean is still just like sitting there like, where could it be?
The thing is, he doesn't let it go. He's almost manic.
He's so fixated on it, like he can't move on. And like we've already, like I've forgotten it's under my foot at this point. I'm like, so guys, like what should we do tomorrow? Like, blah, blah. We all like start talking about other things, and Sean's just in the corner being like,
My liver.
I need to find my liver. I need to find the liver.
To me, it is like an itch that like I was able to scratch, and then you like pin down my arm, and now I can't scratch.
Yes,
my itch,
and you're like,
it's just there. And
yeah.
I'm just like, I am itchy.
That's fair. I realized this whole time I was thinking, do you guys have like moral goblins or morality goblins? Like I guess like mine are like they it always makes me do the right thing, or like I can't be I can't be lazy. Okay. So for example, it'd be like I'm walking the gym and I'm like, I see like someone left a weight right there, and like part of me is like, oh, I could easily just pick it up and put it back, but a part of me could be like, it's not my duty, it's not my weight. So I always try to walk away from it, like, you know what, it's not my thing. But then my goblins come and I get this tingle where I'm like, I haven't put the weight back for someone. Put it back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so if I fight it, I feel very uncomfortable. So I will walk across the gym fighting it, and I'll walk right back, pick it up, and put it back. I'm like, oh, and I'll walk. And it's not like that, or like, oh, I could put like the cutlery back into the drawer. I'm like, oh no, I gotta do something else. So I'll walk away. I'm like, put the fucking cutlery back in the drawer. So I have to walk, open it, and put it in. Then my life feels okay. Those are my goblins.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those
I have things
goblins.
like that, like moral ones, but they're so bad that I can't even walk away the first time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I will
okay.
never.
Like,
I will
never
never consider not. I think a good example, the first thing that came up, also on the Italy trip, there was like a situation where we had to return the rental cars, and there was 2 cars, and so 4 of us out of 8 decided to go, so that each car had someone driving and one person that was keeping them company.
Yeah.
So 4 of us go. It's like kind of early in the morning. And in one of our cars, in my car, we get there first and realize in our car we had something from the other car in our trunk. And they weren't coming for like another X amount of time, like a decent amount of time.
Right.
And we had like their little like trunk cover thing. And we're like, oh, and they're from different car companies, but same place.
Oh.
And so the person I was with was like, okay, we could just hide it in a bush and they can come and get it. And and we can just go back to our Airbnb. And I was like, okay, a bush, probably not where I'll leave it. Like, I think we should at least attempt to give it back to the rental car place. And he's like, okay, like, fine. So we go over there. The line is massive. Like, it is long. I mean, I'm not one to like to wait in lines either. I don't know anybody who is. And the person I'm with really does not want to wait in this line. And so he's like, why don't we hide it behind this post, like this billboard sign that's right next to the rental car place? And I'm like, you know, that's a great idea. So I'm like taking a picture being like, this is where your trunk thing is. This is great. We're going to bounce. And I send it to the group chat. I'm like, this is where your trunk thing is. And I get a response back being like, what? You can't just leave it there? Like, why? Like, just give it to the rental car place. And I'm like, but there's a line. And they're like, bro, you can't just leave it there. And I'm like, you're right. I can't just leave it there. Like, I get, like, there's actually no reason why I can't line up right now. And so the person I was with was like, just say we've already left. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't. We haven't left. I'm here. I'm here right now. And I was like, we can't. We have to. And so I made this person stay in the line. And when I tell you, I hear about this situation every single day, being like, remember that time you made me wait in line? And actually, when you think about it, there's actually no reason why we should have waited in line, because what happened was we waited in line, the line never moved, and then the other rental car came and they just took our spot, and then we left. But like, there was just no reason, like there was no reason as to why, but I could not say no.
But I feel like it's like what if like someone took it or like something happened and it's like on
who is taking a trunk tray from behind?
You right now, if it was me and Sean, 3 beers deep, and we walked by, I'm taking it.
3 beers deep at the rental car place.
Like, I just found my new bobsled.
Yeah. If you caught us,
well, that's why I was like, don't leave in a bush. Like that's like a fair, you know. This is like inside an establishment.
Oh, it's inside the shop.
It's inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like outside next to him. Like, dude, if I saw that outside and I was just ignorant enough, I would take it for the shit.
Yeah. Also, there's no idiots just walking around. Like, this is by the airport. Like, this isn't by civilization.
The airport's not civilized.
Not like that. It's like a parking lot with like a bunch of buildings.
Even more reason.
People are looking for some fun.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got a layover in Italy. Might as well mess around.
Yeah, no, there's a specific place for everything, and that's like how my brain operates. I'm like, why is this out of place? Why is this here? It's supposed to be here. So like those usually small clutter and small things, if I can just get out of the way, it's quieter, it's better. It's easier, you know?
It's easier. Sometimes the goblins actually, if you think about it, the goblins kind of are nice. They kind of guide you in life a little bit, I feel. I feel like they're a little bit
force
OCD.
you. They force you.
But it's like, is it a bad thing? Like,
I think if you are able to like manage them. So I was also going to ask earlier, are you ever able to like silence your brain?
No.
Because that's actually a new thing this year that I've been able to like figure out how to do with the help of my therapist that I pay much money for. So like, you know, I don't know if I was really doing that, but anyways, and it's like mostly like kind of like meditation-y type things, but I can't do like a full like sit down and like guided meditation for like 50. I'm not doing that. So she would like give me little like tools that I could do that like don't take a lot of time to basically like wipe my brain, or at least give me something else to think about so hard on that I can't think about anything else.
Okay, that makes more sense. Like,
yes,
I wouldn't understand how you turn off your brain. Because I can't do that. Like,
I can't turn it off.
I always have to think about something.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I don't understand, like, quietness.
No. There's no quiet, but I think it's like a pretty big difference. But the same way that I can feel the bees flood my brain in the morning, I can feel them, like, dissipate while I'm focusing on something. So, for example, one of the tools is, like, she was like, okay, you need to like picture like words in your head. So like when people say like focus on your breathing, I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, okay, I'm breathing, great. And that would never work for me. But she was like, okay, well, actually like think of the word inhale and think of the word exhale as you're breathing. And I would like picture the word in my head. And when you actually picture the word or like numbers, like if you're counting your head, you can't think of anything else.
I just thought of the word bombastic and then it exploded.
Stop.
I don't know. I tried.
My thing is, as soon as I think about breathing, I go into manual breathing. I'm like, like you know, it's automatic, and then I start going into a panic attack where I'm like, I'm not breathing right.
Yeah.
Like, and then I forget, I'm like, how was I breathing automatically before?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It has to be automatic. If I think about breathing, I'm like,
oh man.
Or could it even be like counting? Like if you're like one,
when I'm like
two.
when I'm trying to like manually breathe and like breathe in then breathe out, I'm like, I'm not getting enough oxygen. I'm struggling.
Like, is this how much I normally get?
I was like, this is not enough.
No.
One deep breath? No. Give me all the short ones.
But do you guys, like, in that same note, like, do you feel like if you play like a podcast in the background, it helps you drown it out? Because that's what I do. Like, if I'm doing tasks or chores in the house to help me level off, I'll play a podcast. I'll focus on the podcast, but automate the task. So I'm like washing dishes, cleaning my house, but I'm not thinking about anything else because like the cleaning is so imprinted where I'm like it's just like deep clean, whatever. But I'm focusing on the podcast, so I'm no longer thinking about anything else. There's no buzz.
Yeah, my thoughts are always louder than whatever is in front of me.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the reason I have to do those exercises is to actually stop thinking about other things, or else anything else, my thoughts will always be louder.
Interesting. Okay.
My thoughts are always louder. Mm-hmm. Do you ever... I sound like a crazy person all this episode.
He is a crazy person.
Hyper fixate on something that it becomes like your new hobby or obsession, and like something that like has to like be active in your mind and it just won't cease?
Like...
Yeah, give me an example.
Like, okay, there's like weird things, because I never mean to get into these weird things, but like one time I was trying to research buying a pair of running shoes. And it seems like a very easy task. It seems like, let me stop by Sport Check and I'll pick up whatever is recommended by the first person I talk to. For me, it was a 4-day venture into researching all these different running shoes, watching like multiple like running like marathon pros like reviews of these shoes, and like just analyzing all these shoes until like all my YouTube recommended, everything was only about like running, and that lasted for like a good like probably like almost like a half. Like it lasted like 4 days, and it was just such like a loud beat in my head that I couldn't do anything else. So I was like, I would like lose sleep over researching running shoes.
See, like I get that. It's not 4 days long. That's crazy.
No. Okay.
But I have an obsession of optimization.
Yeah,
you're a maximizer.
So like
optimizing.
I'll like research because like I'm like it's crazy to just walk into like a Foot Locker or Nike and be like, I like the color green there. Give me that. I can't do that. But I'll research where I'm like, oh, like I have flat feet. This is that. This helps me run, and I'll get the best of the best for that option. But not like 4 days long. Like,
yeah,
I'll research it.
I'll research it, but I'll get the first best option.
Yeah.
I won't get a good one and then be like, but what if there's a better one? I'll find one that's good, like best that for what I think I'm looking for, and then stop. I won't be like, but what if there's something even better?
I look for like a top 10 list, like start gathering the top 10s, narrowing it down, and be like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
I'm big on not wasting my time.
Yeah, I can't.
Time is everything. I'm like, no, I can't.
For me, it's like it's almost like time well spent, because then eventually when I make the one decision, I'm just like,
he lost sleep.
This is the best decision, and no one can tell me otherwise because I know I am.
Nobody's gonna look at your running shoes and be like, "Ooh, you shouldn't have got those."
Too, like, oh, nice shoes, and they're like, "Yeah, great." And I'm like, I didn't research that yesterday.
You know what's the actual worst part of the story? The fact that the first and most recommended shoe was the shoe that I ended up getting in the end after all of this.
That's crazy.
I went into like different years of the model and was trying to like figure out all the different brands and which one would be best for my type of usage and my type of foot, and if I'm tempo running or if I'm like just like more leisurely going for like some light cardio. And then after all that, one of the first shoes that popped up, I was like, yeah,
that's the one.
And I'm just like, I've done it.
We're done.
But your mind goggles have not let you just go with that, because
they wouldn't.
You had to get which I understand. Like you had to get confirmation. We're like, this is it.
The Goblins are like,
but what about this one?
Yeah, I feel that.
So would this fall under like being a perfectionist in ways?
Yes, I think the Goblins like won't sleep sometimes because the bees are loud and they get me to do things, but the Goblins also prevent me from doing things until I have enough information or I'm like confident enough to do it. I have to do it, but I can't do it suboptimally. Like I have to find like the best one. Yeah. So that gets in the way. And I think that is perfectionism a lot.
Yeah.
It 100%.
Yeah, because I know we've talked about it before where like you feel like almost stunted to start or like do things unless they're perfect. Do you find that?
I used to a lot. Now I'm like, I've really grown to be like, perfection is the enemy of action. So I'm just doing it. But given that, I have to do a bunch of research to know what the optimal route is. Right. And then I'll start. I'm no longer fixated on like, if it isn't going 100% what I planned, I'm not going to do it or I'll stop. But I still have to preface the research behind it. Like I'll do all that to be like, okay, I'm going to go left here, do this. But if so happens like it doesn't work out, I'm not dreading over it anymore. As much as I used to be. It used to be like, it has to be this. There's no other option.
Okay.
Yeah.
My type of perfectionism, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I don't care if what I'm making, like anything that I output is perfect. And that helps me a lot because I can output a lot. Like I'm just like out there throwing random things to the wind and just be like, oh, maybe this is good, maybe this isn't. But my perfectionism comes in wanting to be a perfect person.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a morality thing? Or like
just what my perception of a perfect person is, or what like the right thing or the good thing or whatever. Perfect as a person, but anything I do doesn't have to be perfect or like make.
As long as it leads to you being the perfect.
As long as I am holding myself to the standard of I am like doing everything I should be doing as a perfect person, but like what I'm like making or creating doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh, this is why I'm not an artist. I remember I took art in grade 8 and they're like, oh, art is like free flowing, do whatever you want. I would draw a line, I'm like, that wasn't straight, erase. It'd be like 1 hour into the class, like, Ivan, what did you draw? I'm like, I got 50 eraser marks and like 3 lines. I'm like, it was like, it has to be like, yeah. I think my Goblins though, like it goes to a place where I'm an overthinker, or like where my bees maybe is an overthinker, but it can be either like fun or situation based. I think I'm obsessed with situational overthinking. So like one part of me is like I love to like daydream and fantasize. It'd be like, what if I was a millionaire? What if I was a basketball player? And like just think about all the roots and what I would do. But the other side is like the something happened during the day. I'm in the shower. I'm like, damn it, I could have said that.
I think about that too.
Like all the time.
Like a lot of people.
That's social anxiety, just so everyone knows.
I just go through this, like something happened. I'm like, I could do this. I could have done this. I'm like, damn, why did I think of that right now? Like, and that's what gets me. And then I'll just keep looping or doing like different scenarios and how would it play out if I said this and then this.
I do that too.
And then this is how they would respond because I know them.
It's always in the shower
and it goes
too.
This. It's all, yeah,
it's always in the fucking shower.
I was busy with other things, but now I have time to like marinate.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh man. Like, I need to call him right now. I have a perfect response. I have to do something. Like, it's crazy.
That comes up for me too. Usually in like a serious conversation way where I'm like, oh damn, I should have said that. But then more recently, like it's even just in like a normal, like we're all having fun. I'm like, oh, I could have made a really good joke there. Like, damn. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like even like in a like say an important talk relationship, are you guys like let's say it was like an argument between your partner, are you guys like a talk now or like give me some time to think? A process. Because I feel like it kind of helps with that. Like some people need that because that happens, or versus there's people come in and they're like, oh, I should have said that or said something.
Yeah.
I think usually I'm like a talk now person, but it's not like we're gonna have this talk, we're never gonna talk about it again, it's finished. It's like talk now, and if we get some sort of like other perspective later, like let's talk about it again. But it like I don't feel like the bees will get me again if I just try to like ignore it, right?
Yeah.
Like I have to deal with it to some level of satisfaction, and then I'll revisit it, and that's probably like the Goblins are like, no, optimize it.
Yeah, I feel that. I was gonna say like I'm like let's talk now. I'll come in like trying to be as open-minded, logical as possible, but I already know I'm gonna take a shower later, and then
think again,
and then I'm like, oh wait, there's more.
Want to run it back?
And then I gotta run it back.
Yeah,
I gotta run it back. So I'm a mix. I'm like a take time, but I have something to say right now. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 answers. I think what I normally do is a reflection of who I've dated, not necessarily what I would want to do, which is so what would happen as a result of who I've dated is I feel the need to like step back and process so that I can deliver in a way that will be the most receptive and least defensive. So I would have to like rehearse how I'm going to bring this up and like kind of like coax it in and like how I'm going to present this and say it in a way that's going to get me the best reaction back, because I'm afraid of what the reaction would be if I just like spoke my mind.
Like they might run the wrong way with
it.
Exactly. Yes. And then I'll lose my whole point because they've just like derailed it in a different way. What I would like to do, I still like to process because I still want to be a perfect person. Like I still want to like, I'm still trying to not like lash out or like say anything that's like out of emotion or whatever, which honestly I never really do anyway, but still. But what I would want to do is say like, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm not like 100% ready to talk about it right now, but like I will in a sec. So like I would want to tell you what's up and then still have time to process and then talk about it is what I would like to do.
Okay.
But I think also like because I've never really been in a situation where I felt like 100% like emotional safety or like comfort. Maybe there is like a scenario where I could just like say whatever is on my mind and not feel like it has to be like this like really daunting thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel it. Yeah. If you guys could remove the bees or remove your goblins,
Dude, I don't got goblin. Do I have goblins? I don't know. I don't think.
Like
I personally am so used to functioning like this that I think that they kind of propel me forward. And this is also because I've never known the other side.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much energy that I harness from them that I can't imagine being productive without them.
So
yeah.
you become one with the goblins and the bees.
Oh yeah, like the goblins are harder to get along with. The bees, I've fully like, we're chilling.
Just part of everyday life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the goblins are tough because it also like I really struggled in the past with punctuality because there were so many things that I need to do in my routines before leaving the house, right? And like if one thing is at a place, like I need to do that, and then that leads into something else and something else and something else, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, 30 minutes has gone by and I have not even gotten closer to stepping out the door. So like those are like annoying, but I'm trying to figure out ways to do those things before so I can still operate the same way I do. So it's just like, if I calm the goblins more often, they don't like spike up at me.
That's fair. That's fair. And to preface for everyone, this man has historically taken, like, we used to have to lie about what time things happen. It'd be like, oh, Sam's birthday, it's at 6.
Dude, even last time we filmed the podcast, an hour late.
I'm working on it, okay?
Today was pretty good.
Today was good.
Today was good. So it's progress. But yeah, historically, this man, it's just, and you got to give it a whole hour head start to get him, or else you're always going to be late.
And that comes back to the story of Malcolm in the Middle with Hal, like, trying to do one thing and then doing another thing and then doing another thing. So, like, I definitely resonated with that scene.
Yeah. I think I'm the same as you, where I can't imagine not having them, because I would also say that, like, the reason my life is the way that it is because I have the bees. And I would say I have it pretty good, despite the mental health issues. Like, it has helped me achieve a lot and, like, get to a certain level really early on in, like, life, I guess, which is good. But if I could manage them a little bit better so that they don't, like, keep me up at night, that would be nice. Like, if I could wake up and, like, be like, okay, got to do all these things, like, productive, discipline, whatever, great. But the whole, like, needing to do things immediately and, like, getting stressed out about, like, all these different scenarios could probably do without. So, a management of bees is what I'm looking for.
Or, like, a removal of, like, some bees. Or, like,
yeah,
I want, like enough bees where, like, there's a little bit of, like, angst because it keeps you, like, in line, but not enough that have pressure. Like, or just, like, one wasp.
Yeah, or, like, being okay with the buzzing being there.
Yeah.
Versus it being, like, I need to get rid of the buzzing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's what it is.
You need to do group therapy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think just, like, in the way where we're kind of, like, bees, goblins, and isms is probably like the, you know how like the 7 dwarves are like the different like
the dopey,
like dopey and like sleep,
yeah,
like it's like the same kind
yes,
of
we're just giving them new names.
Yeah,
for sure.
But if you guys out there have bees, goblins, isms,
whatever you call them,
let us know what you call them. Let us know what you refer to them in your head. And maybe share it with others because it could be productive. But thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. I am going to go cut my fingernails. But see you next time.
He's just sitting there all day.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.